So, welcome back, boys and girls. In this episode, I'm just going to do a bit of an update on everything that's going on in the workshop. As you can see, this is back. If you haven't already seen it before, you may or may not have seen that one. But I've done a front bearing on that one of the big main ones in the front. One of the ones in there, little spud, and then it's back again for the roller for the conveyor. Obviously you can't really see it on here, but it wallowed that one out. That should be alright, but what did happen, this is the roller, and it's wallowed it right out in there, and that happened because of this plate. Basically that plate has got a big bit missing, and it was just, the pump was just wobbling around on it, so we've got a new plate, a new roller, some nice in there. Obviously this is in, this is a friend of mine's spreader. The front bearing packed up, bearing on the front packed up, so we've got the sprocket off. It's a fairly interesting job getting that sprocket off, because I'll cut in a minute, I'll show you the sprocket, but while we're in here with this, I'll just show you this a second. You've got to take the entire back off. Obviously there's a big ring of bolts, and there's another bearing at the back obviously, and then to get enough room at the front for the sprocket to lift out, you've got to suspend the auger and bring it out the back door like that. So obviously that's a good foot or so away from where it's supposed to be. So that's what's in here. There's two taper bearings at the back, and then a big bearing at the front. They do go from time to time. It was replaced before, but it's gone, and we've got a new one. Obviously I've had to cut the front out to get a bottle jack in. So this is the sprocket off the front. It's a sizable thing. You can see my hand next to it. It's probably 2 feet across. But what I did was welded these threaded bars on. This is really thick box, and then I have a big plate against that, and put the bottle jack in here on the end of the shaft. Bottle jacking away, and it finally pops off. So I acquired this one that I found in the road, if you remember I said about that before, and that one's off. But what we saw when he bought it, we knew this before he bought it, I don't know whether you can, I'll turn it around so, oh god it's heavy. God, I'm so strong. The previous owner, when they did the bearing, they just cut it in half, cut it right down there, and my fear was that they, when they re-welded it while it was back on the shaft, but they didn't, which is lucky, because otherwise it probably would have contracted on there and been a complete nightmare. Another asset added to the workshop, thanks to the owner of the wagon, is I now have gas. This was just lying in his yard. Oxypropane, obviously, because propane, but now I can heat stuff, cut, and just generally destroy things quickly. So thanks for that, that's marvellous. Yeah, a lot of people are asking about the 31 and 21. The reason why I haven't updated much on these yet is because the machine shop that does all the, like, grind the crank and do the cylinder heads and wash the blocks and everything, they've had a revamp in Burham Engines. If anyone watches their channel, they'll know that they've been having a revamp right through, but they're finally back to work, so I will be able to do a bit more than that. So currently the block has been washed. It's no more stripped than it was, apart from one liner. the crank has been ground, the head has been skimmed, and there was only 2 exhaust valves that were bad on that, which I was quite surprised at. So when I get these paid jobs out the way, because obviously I need money as well, when I get those paid jobs out the way, hopefully we'll be back on the 31 engine rebuild. And I do need to take the engine out of this one, obviously, because I need the cylinder head and I think the camshaft, because I don't know how well you can see this, that there's not a lot left on that cam anymore, on these cam lobes, and the lifters, wherever they are, some of these lifters in the bottom here is a bit domed. That one's right, but some of the others are completely domed over. I'll be taking this into Burham Engines to get them to put it in their giant dishwasher once I have knocked out the rest of the liners. The crank, I'll need to take that in and get that reground as well. It's not scored or anything, it's just really worn out, so that'll need doing. But yeah, that's sort of where I'm up to at the minute. Oh, another thing I did on this one, there was a big hole in the door, because if anybody runs these they'll know, back here is where the centre of the mix happens. So there was a big hole in the old door, as you can see, big hole in the door. That's like really tin, that now, and it just ripped that's where the ram would go. It's just ripped the boss out of that one. So what I did was, I knew a friend of mine was scrapping one of these, so I just said to him, have you still got the doors? And he says, I don't know, go and have a look. And he did. So what I've done is obviously welded up all the cracks, and I've put a piece of checker plate along in the hope that it might keep it a bit more, give it a longer standing chance against the wear. And also with the gas that he gave me, I've straightened out some of the, because these auger flights get bent really easily, and I do need a new one welded in there at some point, and there is a little hole there, but after putting a new bearing on the front, it's gotten to be quite an expensive winter for this one, but yeah, anyway, hopefully soon we will see more of the 31. Obviously I want the workshop to be empty first, so I can do everything in there, because I've got a bench, it's cleaner, all my tools are in there, and it's better lighting for you lot. The moos are still in, and they're growing quite well. Well, I was told they were. Obviously if you see them every day you don't really notice them, but yeah, they're growing slowly. But yeah, get that one out of there would be nice, to have a workshop back so I can do more 3130 and 2040 action. 2140, where is he? Bud? And there he is, the main man. But yeah, that's the end of this one. Sorry it's not a very interesting one, but it is just something. There's a little thumbnail there, look, little spud. You can be my thumbnail. Yeah, that's the end of this video, and I shall hopefully give you some better content soon. Catch you in the next one.